Hi everyone, today we talk about Fedex, which is one of my stocks. They reported earnings last week, but I haven't really had a chance to just talk about their earnings, which I'm a bit sorry about because it was a good opportunity after they reported earnings to actually get invested in the stock if you weren't invested in the stock. We're going to talk about Fedex and going forward with Fedex and my position in Fedex. So overall, Fedex did report earnings and it fell in pre-market trade on Tuesday, and that was on September the 18th. After it reported mixed financial results, but it did boost its full year outlook. We posted income of 835 million or 3.10 a share, adjusted earnings of 3.46 per share, and it missed forecast because we were expecting 3.80 a share, and revenue of 17.8 billion did beat expectations, which we were expecting 16.87 billion. So the revenue side of it actually was top of the estimates, which was really good. We also got a raised forecast, which was really good, and that normally sends the stock upwards. But the biggest thing is that this actually, in the missed earnings side of it, which was quite a big miss really for Fedex. Now they actually missed by, I think it was something like 5%, which we were expected. But this stock with this earnings report was one of the stocks which kind of you need to think as an investor and what you actually think of it and develop your own opinion rather than listening to a lot of the analysts. So a lot of the analysts were kind of putting this like fear factor on, going, whoa, Fedex missed it this much. But when you actually dive into this, like the quarterly earnings, you actually see that actually it was pretty decent, to be fair. And I think one thing that really affected it is that I think Wall Street had a lot of high estimates for this stock. Because when I go through these figures in a second and talk to you about it, you realise that it was pretty good, but I think Wall Street just had stupid expectations on this kind of quarterly earnings report, because it still went up from last year, quite a good percentage. So first of all, we had the revenue beat, which was good, top line on there. The boosted full year profit outlook, which is really good, but Fedex dropped 5.3% on it. Now, like I said, it did beat last year's earnings report, and when you actually look into the earnings beat from last year, the EPS actually grew still, like 8, I think it's 9%. It was 8 or 9%, which is really good. So we've got a parcel company that is still growing at an EPS rate of 9%, but it missed earnings. You're telling me that that is some absolute amazing business growth right there. For a parcel delivery company to be growing at that rate is amazing in my opinion. Obviously we've got kind of the e-commerce side of it, which is where a lot of it comes from. Fedex quite a while ago hit because of Amazon apparently pulling out, but Amazon only makes 3% of actual FedEx's revenue, so that's not too big of a deal, and that's probably its biggest threat, is losing the Amazon side of it. But the EPS, it got absolutely slated. It missed it by a bit, quite a bit. But we're still looking. It's still growing at 9%. If this hit expectations, the EPS side of it is going to be going up 14%, which is really good for, in my opinion, for Fedex. And when we look into the reason why it actually missed EPS is because of wages was the main reason of it. So if the main reason why your stock is going down is because it's actually paying its workers a decent rate, I don't think that's too bad, because we've still got 9% growth. It's not struggling, and it lost that earnings side because the workers are getting paid better. That's not a bad thing in my opinion, because if we have good paid workers, then they're obviously going to be working better. They'll be wanting to work for Fedex. So it's not the worst thing in the world, and because of the economy state right now, and there's a lot of jobs out there because everyone's in employment, there's a lot more competition for employers trying to get people to work for them. So if Fedex is top of the line, paying the best wages, they're going to have the most people coming to apply for Fedex, wanting to stay with Fedex, getting the best workers working for Fedex compared to like UPS, which is probably the main competitor. So for the reasons to be higher wage growth than what they expected, in my opinion, it's not bad, and overall it's not a bad earnings report. And this earnings report actually took the stock down 5.3%, which I wish I had a group where I could post things, because at that point I would have said the next day, which I think was Wednesday after the earnings, on Wednesday, when this stock has stopped selling off, is a really good time to be buying this stock. You would have got it at a 5.3 discount, which was really good. So yeah, if you did manage to buy some stock into Fedex on Wednesday, you did a really good job because it was at a good dip. Fedex has already recovered about 2.5% of that 5.3% dip, so it's already on recovery mode, and it probably recover it all pretty quick. Whether or not there be another dip, there will be a dip at some point in Fedex. There always is a couple of dips in it. But it was just such a good opportunity to be buying into that stock, because if you actually look into the details of the earnings, it was super. Even though of the EPS miss, and it was just such a good opportunity on 5.3% to be getting into that stock. So if you did, well done. Personally, I didn't buy any shares into Fedex, and because I'm happy with the size of position that I already have. So I didn't buy any more shares. But if I was looking to extend my position on Fedex, then it would have been a great opportunity to buy. But it is overall a really good company when you look at how much the percentage is growing and the raise forecast. It's super. Guys, thought I'd give you that update on Fedex for the people that are interested in Fedex out there and watching my portfolio. The next video I'm going to do is the free stocks I'm buying in October, or could potentially buy in October. So that'll be out tomorrow. Give the video a like, guys, subscribe. Thanks for all the support recently, and I'll see you on the next video.